Hello, if you've been diagnosed with cancer recently, or if you've been given another terminal diagnosis, this is the answer to your prayers. So please, pay close attention because this message might save and prolong your life. My name is Dr. Delbecco, and for the past 20 years, I've been helping cancer patients become cancer-free, in a natural way, that is. I'm not a conventional oncologist. Our clinic helps our patients who are able to recover in 96% of the cases. That's the statistic. So if you have cancer and you become our patient, you have a 96% chance of becoming cancer-free in the next 90 to 180 days. If you went to a conventional or traditional oncology clinic or oncologist, you would only have a 3% chance of becoming cancer-free. And you would have a 97% chance of dying as a result of being injected that deadly poison that they use. We don't use any type of chemotherapy or radiation. We only use natural means. In fact, this is a natural herbal paste or compound that is 100% organic, that is responsible for the recovery of our patients. And so we stress the natural recovery, understanding what really causes cancer. And I've dedicated my life to that. My father had dedicated all of his life to understanding cancer and beating cancer. Most oncologists today are simply licensed practitioners. They're like news anchors who read off the teleprompter. Conventional oncologists remind me of used car salesmen that basically are your friends when things go well and you have insurance to pay for the services. The minute you start questioning the statistic I just gave you, how could they possibly give you the poison and tell you everything will be okay, knowing that you have a 97% chance of dying, meaning you only have 3% that things might go well for you. They will immediately get upset, and usually they'll ask you to leave their office. They don't discuss the statistics. They simply say, we don't know. But that is something to process for you, some statistical data. 3% versus 96%. Now, why is it? Why is cancer to this day is not a thing of the past? Let me give you an illustration. You see, the closest thing that I could come up with, and there are numerous examples, but I'll bring up a few industries. The oil industry. If you had invented a new internal combustion engine that doesn't use crude oil or petrol or gasoline, then you would be going against the grain, and it's not going to be easy for you. The tobacco industry. Besides nicotine, you see they've been adding synthetic chemicals or additives to keep their customers from quitting. That's why there are hundreds of millions of people around the world who cannot quit smoking. They're addicted. The sunblock lotion industry, you see the sunscreens have several ingredients that cause skin cancer when the temperature goes above 98 degrees Fahrenheit or 36 degrees Celsius. The alcohol industry. If you recall, in 2008, Anheuser-Busch of St. Louis, Missouri was acquired by a European company called InBev. It was a big scandal, only known to the inside circle, the legal team on both sides. But the European company actually put a lot of pressure because Anheuser-Busch refused to sell, and they said, in this case, you force our hand to make certain documents public, how you used to spike your drinks for the last 50 years. And reluctantly, Anheuser-Busch management acquiesced and they sold the company to InBev. So is the cancer industry. It's a $300 billion a year industry in the US alone. And for them to simply admit that there are natural cures would be foolish. That would be walking away from a steady income stream. So this makes the Italian mob, organized crime, look like petty shoplifters compared to the cancer industry or the medical complex, industrial complex. You see, I'll give you an example. If you research this company out of Chandler, Arizona, called Incest Pharmaceuticals, it was formed by an Indian doctor, Dr. John Kapoor. He came from India 30 years ago, 40 years ago, with just a dream of having a nice, comfortable lifestyle. He learned how the medical system works, how the pharmaceutical industry works in America. And so he created a product called Substance. And Substance, of course, is a painkiller for cancer patients who are in severe pain. It's an inhaler. It's very effective. It's actually 40 times more potent than any other painkiller currently on the market. Now, what's the moral of the story, you might be asking? What's the deal with Incest Pharmaceuticals? Well, their patients started to die suddenly. Here's the reason why. You see, they started to prescribe or give their drug to anybody who had a pulse. Why, you might ask? Money, of course. See, their drug, Substance, would cost up to $10,000 per month per patient. Think about that. So the company was making upwards of $200 million in profits every year. So within a few years, it was $1 billion company. And Dr. John Kapoor, he's now a multi-billionaire. Problem is that nationwide network of dirty on-the-take doctors and nurses who would take up to $750,000 a year in bribes, well, they went too far. They went too aggressive, prescribing it to literally anybody who walked through the clinics. You know, they would prescribe this drug to soldiers, veterans who would come from Afghanistan and Iraq. They needed some psychological evaluation and treatment, not a cancer pill. And so obviously they started to die. Research this company. It's just an example of, this is one out of thousands of companies that operate that way. And so cancer industry is much more vicious than this. This is a child's play. It's a small company. Insys is a very, very small player in the market. But the big boys are playing it. If you knew the details, you would want to move to another planet. You would definitely want to move to another country. So what's the moral of the story? It's quite simple. The moral of the story is this. You have two options now if you've been diagnosed with cancer. You can go to a conventional oncologist and have 3% chance of surviving the procedure, or you can go to an alternative practitioner, such as our clinic. And there you would have 96% chance of beating cancer naturally, without losing your hair. You see, the hair loss is all part of the chemotherapy and that deadly radiation. So there's something to process for you, some information, very useful information that you'll never get anywhere else. If you ask a conventional oncologist, they would literally get upset and throw you out of their office about the 3% success ratio. They don't want to discuss. They just want you to simply pay for the procedure, agree to everything, and if you have insurance, they would love you even more. So, think about it. Call us if you decide to become our patient. God bless you. Take care, and we'll talk to you soon.